Hello, dear friends. This is Molly with Soul School Tarot and Astrology, and I got a really strong push to sit down and do a tarot card reading for you guys. But before I do that, I need to make a real quick video where I talk to everybody. Finally, I'm going to break my silence about my thoughts and feelings and philosophy about the twin flame journey and the channel messages that I've been getting from my guides for really probably about the past like 6 months. I've been resisting this, okay? And the reason why is because I really do not like the dominant narrative of the twin flame journey that is out there on the internet, that is spouted by other tarologists and YouTube readers and stuff like that. I actually think it's really, really unhealthy. And today I'm going to talk about why. I'm also going to talk about, like I said, some of these channeled messages for some time now. My guides have been trying to get me to talk more about the twin flame journey on my channel. It's something that I refer to when I'm doing relationship readings. If I feel like there's an especially strong soul bond, I'll refer to that as a soulmate or a twin flame union, and then just kind of let you guys figure out what that means to you. I do talk a lot about what soulmates are and how soulmates are just essentially somebody that we came into this lifetime with a soul contract with. Somebody who has, before this lifetime, we agreed to be a part of one another's personal development. And that may or may not lead to a long-term lasting, right, lifelong relationship. And in fact, our soulmates can come to us in many, many different types of relationships. But twin flames, like I said, I've kind of been like, I've hinted at the fact that I'm critical of the narrative, but I haven't gotten right to it. So that's what we are going to do today. I actually typed up some notes here because you guys know sometimes I sit down to talk to you from my Mercury space, and then my Neptune space comes in, my moon space comes in, and it's like suddenly I'm channeling messages from elsewhere. So, here's the thing, you guys. This is the message I'm getting from my guides very, very strongly, that the whole twin flame journey, the purpose of it is to establish a new model of relationships on the planet Earth at this time. Okay. So if you believe yourself to be a twin flame, maybe get through this video first and see if you still consider yourself to be a twin flame by my definition, but it's not a bad thing to be. It's just not a walk in the park. And I think we all know that. But it's also not an excuse to perpetuate toxic, narcissistic, or codependent relationships. In fact, the purpose of the soul flame, the twin flame, I like to call them soul flames. That's just my thing. The twin flame journey is actually to break those patterns that are the dominant paradigm in our culture today. So like I said, toxic, narcissistic, and codependent behaviors within relationships, blaming other people for what is essentially your own shadow, expecting other people to heal your own shadow, not being able to find happiness on your own, and making it dependent on being a relationship. That is a story that we are told over and over and over again from the time that we are born. I've been told that story since 1980, and I lived it out through 3/4 of my life, at least. I lived out that narrative about relationships, and it's false, and it's unhealthy, and it's toxic for all of us. So if you're in a twin flame journey and you're like, man, this feels really toxic, it's not because it has to be that way. It's because it's giving you the opportunity to transmute that, okay? I really do believe that learning how to transmute energy, learning how to, I talk about transmutation elsewhere, but being able to take our current paradigm, our current programming regarding relationships, and transmute that or transform that into something healthy and new that's actually good for us, that's the magic that needs to be done on the twin flame journey. And it's not an easy process, okay? So there's a couple components to that I want to go ahead and talk about. One of them is when I talk about, you guys know this if you're watching my channel for a while, when I talk about masculine and feminine, these are energies. These are laws of physics, not of biology, okay? So in other words, masculine and feminine are energies and not body parts, and they can belong to whatever body you want. We are, all of us have an inner masculine and an inner feminine, and we often shift back and forth between roles, okay? But The twin flame model is, of course, about uniting those polarities, that polarity of masculine and feminine, finding a way to get them to work in balance with one another rather than against each other. Okay. This whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus nonsense. We are all from the planet Earth. And we need to be responsible, or like take responsibility for what that means as far as our ego, our subconscious, and our need for emotional healing as a collective, if I'm perfectly honest. So the way that the twin flame journey typically goes, so it's a very loose model, you guys. I believe that all of our karmic challenges that we have in this lifetime, we presented to ourselves before we entered into this lifetime. And we, like I said, we got friends, we got partners, we have people who are willing to help us and be reciprocal in that learning process. So a twin flame is a special partnership. It's a contract that you made before you came into this lifetime. And soul contracts may or may not be fulfilled on this lifetime. You can do all the work in the world, but if the other person is not able to uphold their end of the contract, then it's just something that may not happen in this lifetime, okay? But nonetheless, it is an opportunity that is there for two people to meet and to see in one another themselves. That's what this mirroring energy is all about. In fact, when you get down to it, you guys, every relationship that we have is really with ourselves. Think about that one, okay? We'll unpack it later. Every relationship we have is really with ourselves. So the twin flame journey is really actually about our relationship with ourselves. Because you meet somebody, you are attracted to them in such this way that's so compelling, and then you begin to see them. And in them, you begin to see yourselves. And then you come to see the parts of yourself that you've been trying not to look at. And there's the trigger. There's the tower moment. That's usually the moment that leads to separation, okay? Because those things happen because it's the residue of all the toxic, narcissistic, codependent programming that has been handed down to us by our culture, by our family, by our friend groups, by our media, all that good stuff, okay? So the triggering happens, and then this next part of the twin flame journey really is an independent part of the journey, because what's happened, and lots of soulmates do this for us. So somebody could do this for you and not necessarily be a twin flame. Okay. Soulmates who agree to allow us an experience that shows us our own need for healing. And then this part of the twin flame journey is about learning how to self-heal. Learning how to self-heal, learning how to come into union with oneself, and learning how to find happiness within oneself. So that when reunion happens, you're not looking for that person to heal you. You're not looking for them to complete you. And you're not looking for them to provide you with your happiness, because you've got those things on lockdown. That's what a lot of people really don't want to talk about with the twin flame journey, because the codependent model is so much easier. We have examples of that left and right. You want to know how to enter into a codependent relationship? I bet you've already seen 1,000 examples in this lifetime. In fact, some of them may have been handed down to you as the way to handle relationships. So once this balance is found within, once this cleansing, this healing of the shadow is found within, these two people can come together and just live that life. Live that, I love Queen Cup uses the term independent coexistence in exchange for a codependent relationship, and live that model in the world. And in that way, it's essentially a way of seeding the new earth, seeding a new culture on earth, based on a new paradigm of relating to one another, because all relationships are actually, say it with me, a relationship with yourself. Okay? That to me is the message that I've been getting from my guides about what it means to be in a twin flame journey. You have succeeded at the twin flame journey when you don't need to come back into union in order to feel healed and whole and happy. You don't need it. And when you don't need it, that's when it can become a healthy relationship. Okay, so Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is, this is something that, again, my guides have really been talking to me about, the astrology of the twin flame relationship, or the twin flame journey. I talk about astrology a lot in combination with tarot on my channel. And then of course you guys can always book readings with me to do that stuff. And especially if you guys are in what you believe to be a twin flame journey, I have a package that I'm linking to in the description box below where you can do an astrology chart where we're going to look at your transits. We're going to look at your chart and your partner's chart and how are the planets governing this relationship at this time. But there's also a way in which the transiting planets govern the overall pattern of the twin flame collective. All right. So the 4 planets that are very important are Jupiter and Saturn and Venus and Mars. Okay, so I've been talking a lot about Venus and Mars and the journeys that they have been on throughout this year. We had a Mercury retrograde in Venus, which really kind of actually impacted the divine feminine as a whole. We have had a lot of stuff going on while Mars has been direct for, I believe, the last 18 months. And now that it's retrograde in Aries, there are some shifts going on. Jupiter just went direct. Saturn is about to. Again, shifts are going on. Another astrological marker. I bet you guys anything. You could write a timeline of your twin flame journey. Okay. Let me pause so I can bring you some dates. All right, I'm going to put this link also in the description below, astrologyzone.com eclipse dates. Look at these eclipse dates from however long your twin flame journey has been, especially if you're in separation right now, or even if you're not, okay? They've been happening primarily in January, February, and then August and July. Hi baby, my kitty cat just joined me up here. For the last couple of years, this year's eclipses have been in there's 6. Okay, 6 eclipses this year. 2019, we had 5. 2018, we had 5. 2017, we had 4. Going back, like 6 eclipses in a year, you guys. This is a big year for twin flame unions, but you have to understand that the solar and lunar eclipses can kind of be these on and off switches, both internally and externally. Solar is externally, lunar is internally. And also when it comes to the divine masculine and feminine, whether it's within you, your own inner divine masculine feminine, or you as one of those and then your counterpart. The moon represents the feminine energy and the sun represents the masculine energy, okay? But as far as these two people playing the role of counterparts to one another, that plays out in the movements of Venus and Mars. So, like, now that I've gotten that explanation out there, I'll just link it in all of my videos in the future where I get online and I start rambling to you guys about what's going on with the planets and what that has to do with the twin flame journey. So anyways, there is this message that needs to come out today. I've got my cards. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short so it can just be a nice little short and sweet. Molly finally came out of the closet about her twin flame journey theory. I'm going to keep it on lockdown. Why I've been so resistant about this. Oh my God. It's annoying, you guys. But let's proceed. Check out all the information you need is below. Like I said, also please go ahead and check out the reading that I'm about to put out because Spirit's talking. All right. So I'll catch you guys later. Take care.